flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the
flag
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening all, and welcome to the August 18th, 2016 meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Chestnut Ridge. My report will be brief. We did not have a Sunday with the mayor for the month of August, just for the summer vacation. And the next big event for us to keep in mind is our picnic, which will be September the 18th, which will be our 30th anniversary as a village. So we hope to see you all out there on Sunday the 18th over at Children's Park, 12 noon to 5, rain or shine. So we hope to see you there. All right, next, what we will... Next on the agenda would be the discussion of agenda items from anyone in the public who would like to speak again just on the agenda. Okay, there being none, I would entertain a motion.
What is the agenda?
The agenda is in the back of the room. There's 3 resolutions with regard to some bills and the bills that we're going to be paying.
They ran out of them. Are there any questions on that?
Okay, any questions on the agenda? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to close the...
Make that motion, close the public hearing on the agenda items.
Thank you, Trustee Cohen. Thank you, Trustee Valentine. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? There being none, thank you very much. At this juncture, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our meeting of July the 21st, 2016.
So moved.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Brock. Thank you for the second. Trustee Miller. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? There being none, thank you. At this juncture, I would entertain a motion with regard to Resolution 2016-66, approving our agreement with B&B Pools and Spa to winterize the water feature at Chestnut Ridge, the Chestnut Village Park, which is no increase from last year.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Trustee Cohen. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Brock. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? There being none, thank you. Next, I would entertain a motion with regard to Resolution 2016-67, which is the agreement with Gramco Business Communications for our recording system that will be in the courtroom and here in the boardroom at a cost of $5,885.
Why don't you explain what that is?
Sure, my pleasure. Up until this point, we've had a court reporter, actually at all of our court sessions with regard to the Justice Court. This will do away with the need of having a person physically have to take transcription. This will all be on hard drive and high-tech DVD recording equipment, which is approved by the State of New York Court Division. It will ease the whole idea with regard to transcripts for court proceedings. In addition, it will, the one-time investment of a little under $6,000 as opposed to the $5,000 a year it's been costing the village for a court reporter every year. In addition, obviously, we will have to upgrade the software and equipment now and then, but I think from a fiscal standpoint, this is the prudent way to go. It will also improve the recording system itself. The clerk will control it. It's high-tech. They can put notes. It's very easy to negotiate. I've utilized this system, and I've utilized the other system for the other company that also bid, and they're also approved in the state of New Jersey, and it's a very efficient system, and I'm sure the staff is going to be very comfortable with it. That's going to be in the courtroom side. On this side, the boardroom, we're going to have the same. We're going to have the same ability to, as far as recording our meetings are concerned. We're going to do away with our tape recorders finally, and we'll be able to have recording devices that'll be able to pick up what we need to pick up, in addition amplification so that people can hear what's going on. Again, it's a good system, and I think everybody will be very happy.
And, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if somebody wants a transcript, they pay for it.
Yes, and that which has always been the case.
What would the cost be,
Well,
sir?
the transcripts are usually based upon per page.
58, 85.
It says it on this?
Yes.
Wait.
Item 6.
Item 6.
No, it doesn't have the cost of what the transcript would be. The
Yeah, I'm
transcript.
looking for the cost of the transcript.
What happens is when one requests a copy of transcript from court, that's set by an approved court reporter, and they usually charge per page. So if it's a proceeding that has 300 pages, you'll pay, I'm not quite sure what the going rate is, but it's approved by the state of New York, whatever the cost is, it is. But that's on the person that's requesting the transcript. As far as if it was if it was something with regard to the village, what normally you do, you won't necessarily request a transcript from a village proceeding. You have a copy of the minutes, and then if you wanted a copy of the DVD or something like that, there'd be a charge for just the DVD itself, and there would be no transcripts. But to answer your question, transcript is set by whatever the court-approved transcriber charges, and it's whatever the rate that the state of New York allows them to charge. At that juncture, I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion to approve. I'll
Thank
second
you,
the
Trustee Miller, and thank you, Trustee Valentine, for the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I oppose, there being none, thank you very much. Next, Resolution 2016-68 is with pleasure, and that we're able to bring on to our village staff, Mr. Joseph Kennedy, to the position of fire inspector part-time, hourly rate of $25 per hour, on a provisional basis, subject to approval by the Rockland County Department of Personnel. Up to this point, we've had to sharing services, and we haven't really had our own fire inspector for quite some time. It was a position that was very hard to fill with regard to finding someone who's qualified and will be able to fit the bill for what we're looking for. Mr. Kennedy comes from a background where a retired police officer, retired fire department. He has a little background in, he's approved by the county Department of Personnel, and we'll be bringing him on again in fire as our fire inspector. And then if all goes well, if we need help with code enforcement with regard to building codes, stuff like that, he may be available to do that for us also. So is with that background, that I would entertain a motion with regard to appointing Mr. Kennedy.
I'll make that motion appointing Joseph Kennedy to the position of fire inspector.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Cohen, thank you, Deputy Mayor Brock. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, there being none, thank you very much. Next on the list would be the approval of the abstract of audited claims, which you have in front of you, which has been updated since the last workshop.
Resolution 2016-69, resolved that the funds set forth on pages 1 through 5 on the abstract dated August 18, 2016, in the aggregate amount of $144,830.89, as submitted by the village treasurer, be hereby approved.
I'll second.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Brock. Thank you, Trustee Cohen, for the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I oppose, there being none, thank you very much. At this point, we will open up the floor to any matters the public may wish to bring before the board. We would just ask again that you step up to the microphone, name and address for the record, and we would just ask one person at a time, and then if you have a second question, maybe just wait for everyone else to speak, and then you can come back a second time. Mr. Miller, please, name and address for the record.
Ron Miller, 8 Eagle Street, Chestnut Ridge. I just wanted to make it clear to everyone that Ellen Jaffe is running again for her assembly seat. She has a primary challenger on September 13th, and I'm hoping that everyone comes out and supports her because she's a great advocate for the children of the East Ramapo School District, and many other things. I have palm cards here. I hope to hand them out to everyone at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Okay. Next, anyone else have anything to say, speak about? Name and address for the record, please.
Craig King, 11 White's Terrace, Chestnut Ridge.
Can you give me your name again?
Excuse me?
Your name again?
Craig King, K-I-N-G.
Yes, Mr. King.
I've had an issue with the village of Chestnut Ridge since the last 3 or 4 years with a zoning issue. And in that process, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened. One of them is I've been going over to the village with the village clerk to get a Freedom of Information Act. I've been there 4 times and we've accomplished the goal. Is that not correct?
Been there a few times, I don't
About
know
4
exactly
times.
four, but.
About 4 times.
Right.
But the last time I was there, when I called you to say I was coming over, you advised me that the mayor had said that I had been banned from Village Hall. Do you recall that?
First of all, what is your question? You're not here to cross-examine the village
I'm
clerk.
not cross-examining her.
Your
I'm
question is...
questioning you
Okay.
on your determination as to access to Village Hall.
My recollection is that as a result of a previous court proceeding that transpired here in the village, there was some concern with regard to you coming to Village Hall and possibly not behaving in a way that the village staff felt safe. So in consultation with the village attorney and the Ramapo Police Department, it was determined that if you needed to come to Village Hall, we would prefer to call the Ramapo Police to make sure everyone felt that they were in good stead and they felt safe.
Okay, can I play this recording for you, please?
You're welcome to play whatever you like, Mr. King.
Craig, the village attorney from Chestnut Ridge called us, and you will be provided with a police escort. He has ordered some sergeant at the police department to arrange that, and you will be able to go there and put in your FOIL request with a police escort. So as far as we're concerned, the matter is now closed. You didn't indicate that the mayor's reaction had to do with an alleged intimidation or threat that you had made when you first appeared, making that request. And it is possible that they may swear out an order of protection because of that alleged intimidation. But you will be allowed under police escort, which is what you requested, to go there and file your FOIL request. Good luck. Goodbye.
Now, I played that because I believe, Mr. Mayor, that you lied. I went to your Village Hall 4 times. There was never an incident. Never an incident. So if you don't know what you're talking about, you should stay out of it, okay? Now, to continue on with my situation, my zoning situation I have, the village has cited me for a zoning violation. And I just want to know why it is that the village only targets the black man? Can you help me understand that? You sent your building inspector to my house to take pictures, to walk in my driveway, to scare my wife, to intimidate me. The zoning code enforcement officer has been in the street taking pictures. 3 days later, the building inspector on my property to scare my wife and intimidate me. And I believe that if this is the behavior of the village to target the black man that owns a business, if I correctly, Mr. Cohen is behind all of this. You own the business in your house.
Excuse me, Mr. King, talk through me, through the chair.
I'm talking to you, Mr. Mayor. But Mr. Cohen, he ran a business out of his house for 10 years, and it was never a problem in the village. I have pictures of 25 other homes in the village that are in direct violation, and they have never been cited. Can you help me understand why is the village acting towards me this way?
Is there a current action before the Village Justice Court with regard to you, Mr. King?
We're not talking about any legal determination right now.
My question to you, Mr. King, is there a current village action against you in the Village Justice Court?
My answer to you is no.
Okay, my understanding is that there is.
Then why'd you
Based
ask me?
upon that, it would behoove you not to say anything further with regard to the matter, and it would preclude us from commenting any further as it's in before the Justice Court.
I don't need you to comment, sir. I need you to listen. I need you to listen. I don't need you to comment. I want you to understand that I have 20 photographs in my phone of other properties that's in direct violation of the zoning code. I'm the only black man that you've ever chased around and harassed the way that you instructed, that Mr. Coleman has instructed his people to do. The last I checked, the village is already on the hook for a zoning violation with the person looking for $3 million. They're already on the hook. You lost 3 times. You appealed 3 times. And the village lost. I think it's terribly irresponsible for the village to continue on this path, because it's the same way with the case you lost. But this case is double because now it's a racism case. Your village inspectors are racist. And when your enforcement officer tells me we can make this right, I take that a lot of ways. It's going to go a lot further. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. King. Anyone else wish to speak? There be, anyone else wish to speak? Name and address for the record, please.
Not accustomed to this. Carol Jacobs, 55 Spring Hill Terrace, Chestnut Ridge.
Ms. Jacobs, good evening.
I have some pictures for you that will not be clear. They were taken at night, and the photography is not great. But please keep them in order. They are numbered 1 through 7. And I will explain the pictures as they exist. Please, could you just wait until I go through the first picture?
You want me to make sure that I got all 7 here that are in
Just
order?
look at the last one, the number 7 is at the top. Okay? I tried to be as easy as organized as I could be. My question is, I'd like to know how the village is going to be able to protect me. I was coming down Spring Hill Terrace the other evening, and as I was coming down, I came to a stop because there were cars parked, at least 10 cars parked on either side of the street, both sides of the street. And there were people walking in the street. And unfortunately, the photography is very poor, but it's at night, and I'm not that great with the camera, and the camera wasn't ready really, so I missed the pictures showing the people walking in the street, coming out from between their cars, and I missed the man that if you look at the first picture, you will see that there is an open door. There was an open door on the other side also, and I missed the man going into the car, that the door is open in this picture. So this is what I was confronting as I was coming down the street. My car...
You were driving,
I was driving.
and you missed the man while you were driving.
You were taking photos
I
as you
was
were driving
taking
your vehicle?
photos.
While you were driving?
No, I stopped. If you check...
I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
You were driving,
I was driving down the street when I saw all these people walking in the street, and I saw these doors opening up. I
doors on
stopped.
cars or doors on houses?
Doors on cars,
Right.
okay?
Usually happen when people are parked.
And I did not know what was happening. It was not safe for me to continue driving down the street, so I stopped my car, took out my camera, and started taking pictures of this. The second picture shows, and it's very hard to see, and I apologize for the photography, I'm standing in the street. I'm standing with my car parked, stopped in the street, and there is a car, and it's hard to
The
see.
second picture?
In number 2.
is you standing in the street.
I'm
How
stopped.
did you get the pictures of your speedometer?
I'm in my car.
You just said you were standing in the street.
My car is...
Car is standing in the street.
Okay, I will do it more legally. I am in my car. My car is stopped. If you check the speedometer, you'll see that it's on 0.
Yes.
And I am standing in the street, in the car.
So your car is standing, you're
And the
sitting.
car is, I'm sitting in my car.
I don't think, let's try to... Really?
You know, I heard
We're not
I've
laughing.
heard
Stop.
people
Why is he
speaking
smiling
and
like
being chastised, and I think you deserve to be chastised at this
For
point
asking
by the
questions
speaker.
about you standing,
No,
I'm trying to
I'm
understand
thinking,
whether you were in
All
your
right,
car
okay.
standing.
You know what, Ms. Jacobs, just continue on.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
hold our questions until after.
Thank you, please just listen, and then ask questions. If you look at the second picture, there is a picture with me in the car stopped, and there is a car pulling out of its parking spot, coming towards me. If you go to the third picture, I am still standing still in that car. That car's not moving. I'm afraid to move my car. There is a car in the distance, a white car, that's pulling out of its parking spot, making a U-turn. If you go to picture number 4, now that white car is coming towards me as I am still sitting in my car, and my car is not moving. Is that the proper way of
I see
expressing
the
it?
white car there on the right side of the street. You're
I'm trying to go by.
on the other side.
Now, if you will note, on the right, it's not very clear, and again, I apologize. There is a small parking space on the right side that has already been vacated. So I am thinking, with this car coming toward me, I'm going to go into that parking spot and let him pass. But unfortunately, if you go to picture number 5, he has now gone further toward me.
He's on the right side of the street, though.
Right.
And you're not.
There is a
According to
room.
that picture.
They're both in the middle.
We're both in the middle.
I see,
We're both
yeah,
in the
because
middle.
His car's parked on the side.
We're both in the middle, right. Now, my intention of going into that parking spot area on the right was no longer an option for me because he, as you can see, if you compare the two pictures, you will see that that car has now moved up in comparison to the car that's parked right next to it. So that is what you see
That was 5.
in picture number 5. Now, picture number 6 shows I am now finally, I was able to squeeze by very, very cautiously and continue on my way to Route 45. At Route 45, I wanted to make a left turn. There are cars coming from the synagogue on Route 45. That synagogue had just emptied out also. So I'm sitting on the corner there waiting to make a left turn, and in the meantime many of the cars are coming now, making the turn into Spring Hill Terrace from the synagogue there. And if you will look, you will see cars parked on either side of the street on Spring Hill Terrace, where there is a sign that says, "No parking from here to the corner." And that sign is supposed to facilitate cars making the turns in and out. Obviously, that sign is ignored. The last is a very difficult picture to see. And again, I apologize, I'm not known for my photography.
I'm not
Number?
criticizing your pictures, they were very good. I'm
Thank
just
you.
trying to get the account.
Okay. I am trying to be as clear
One
as
at a
I
time,
can be.
please. Thank you.
The last picture, if you look at the car on the left, I know it is difficult to see, but that car is parked on the left side of the street and should be facing,
It's parked in the wrong direction.
it's parked facing in the wrong direction. Now, my question originally was, how can the village protect me?
You need to call the Ramapo Police Department.
Okay, now,
What
I
time
knew,
was this? What time was this?
this was at 8:56 to 8:58. Now, I knew that that was going to be your answer. My problem is, when I was in the throes of this, it lasts for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The other answer I have is, I do not contract with the police department, you do. Therefore, if it comes from you, it has a lot more clout than if it comes from me. So, as much as you say I should call the police, I'm hampered by A, it's going to be over in 5 or 10 minutes, and B, I did call the police. I don't know if they came, I didn't wait to find out, but certainly by the time they came, nothing was going to be done about it.
Well, first of all, it's not that the village contracts and you don't. We pay taxes to the town of Ramapo, so we all contract. It's not that the village, it's not like our road maintenance where we contract with the police department. Everyone here has the exact same authority, ability, and respect when they call the Ramapo Police Department. The village, since it does not have its own police department, we don't have a 24-hour operation. And I've done it myself, where I've seen people, and I didn't call as the mayor, I called as, I'm at the corner of Margette's and Wanamaker, and people are parked on the curb, they're parked on the lawn, and a police car needs to come to take care of them. And what they do is, they send the local sector car, and they come and they take care of it. I don't tell them that I'm the mayor. There's no need for me to do that, because I'm just like anybody else here. And that's what normally you would have to do. Now, if this is something that's happening on a regular basis, if this is something happening on a regular basis, and you know what the schedule is, what I would ask that you do is this: touch base with Florence, let her know that this is happening every day, every other day, at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. We will touch base with the liaison that we have for the Ramapo Police Department, and when they do roll call with the shifts of police officers, they will make sure that there's a squad car or sector car in the vicinity to see what's going on with traffic. Because all that would happen is, if 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, you see this happening, I say, well, you know what, Ms. Jacobs, call me. But all I'm going to do is call the Ramapo Police Department, all right? And they're going to do the same thing. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to send a sector car, and they'll go see what's going on. That's what you need to do.
And I did. I called the police. I was told that they would send a car out. But by the time the car arrived, if it arrived, and I'm sure it did, it was all over.
Well,
So they didn't see anything.
Well, what happens the next go-round, if we know that this is happening Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 8:30 at night, then the police will send their sector car at 8 o'clock or at 7:45, and whoever's illegally parked, they will be ticketed for being illegally parked. Now, the flip side is, so long as they're parked legally, the fact that it may be hard to negotiate through the street, well, so long as they're parked legally, that's the physical restrictions that we have. Now, the only other alternative might be then to restrict parking on one side of the
That's
street
what I was going to
versus
ask.
the other. However, that's not easily done. That usually means that everyone on at least that one side of the street would have to agree to now have it so that their street, you can't park on their side of the street, which they may not be too happy, because now when you have visitors or whatever the case may be, you've now lost parking in front of your home, all right? We don't want to start having parking on only one side of the street versus the other, because that creates even a bigger problem. However, the long answer to your short question
No,
is,
the short answer to my long question.
if there is a schedule, if there is a routine that this is happening, I just need you to fill us in on what that time is, and then we're not going to wait until 8:45 after they're gone. We're gonna try to get there beforehand, and then we'll take it from there. That's what we can do.
And you want me to call Florence then and tell her?
Just touch base with Florence, let her know that this is...
I'm sorry?
Give her the time, so she can say to the police, well, they're pulling out at, you said 8:30, let's say, they're pulling out at 8:30. Have a sector car there by 8 o'clock.
Now,
Well, you see, that's hard for me to do, because I know what the schedule is at my shul, but I don't know what the
Well,
schedule is at theirs.
and I don't necessarily, look, unfortunately, we all have to become deputized police enforcement in our village here, all right? I'm not expecting you to sit by your window and do surveillance.
Good.
But if you have an idea that this is happening around 8:30 at night, that's all I need you to tell us, because then we get the sector car a half hour before, and they'll ticket the illegally parked cars. Now, when people are leaving, well, that's like anything else. The church that I go to, when services get let out, it's a madhouse for 5 or 10 minutes. And they have police directing traffic, whatever the case may be, but it's for 5 or 10 minutes. But people aren't illegally parked.
And what
They're
you
parked
said
legally.
about people parking from here to the corner, when there's no parking allowed there, those will get ticketed right
Right,
away.
that's easily addressable. So just touch base with Florence, we'll get the police to check it out, and if you're not seeing any remediation, then you gotta let us know and we'll ramp it up, whatever we need to do.
All right, who do you see about clarification of those signs? Because it is not really clear. When it says no parking from here to the corner, there's a double arrow going in two directions. It's not like there's one arrow saying from here to the corner. And then there are other signs that say, no, 2-hour parking only, and then again, it's a double arrow, and you don't really know where that part begins and ends. So you don't know the dimensions.
We'll check it out.
Along Spring Hill Terrace, from the corner of 45 until the corner of Orchard Court.
Are these signs on 45?
No, these signs are
Spring Hill.
on Spring Hill Terrace, and they're really not clear in demarking
I
the
see
areas.
Mr. Sharon is here from the Ramapo Town. Mr. Sharon, do you wish to comment on those signs, or are you,
Yes.
for clarification?
Thank you very much.
Anthony Sharon, Superintendent of Highways here in South Rampo. I believe those signs were put up many years ago regarding people parking to take the bus, before we put the parking lot in. They might have to be, we might have to look at the resolutions that was done back then. A double aisle sign means you can't park 100 feet on each side of that sign. And then another sign with it says no parking, that's another 100 feet. So with two signs, you can't park within 200 feet in front of those signs. That's how the law is written. Problem is, they're old signs, so maybe the village board wants to take a look at the parking situation. We'll see what the resolution said back then. It's gonna go back probably in the 60s.
So it's under Ramapo, it's not under Chestnut Ridge?
It was put in underneath Riverville, but right now,
Before Chestnut Ridge existed.
Right, that's
yeah, but everything that was there when the village formed, they have ownership.
Oh, yeah, well, no,
Right, so they might have to be
incorporate.
redone over, they might be faded out, they might be knocked out, who knows, so we'll have to look.
Florence will probably
Just
speak to you. And
just
we'll-
give me an email tomorrow, we'll pull the resolution up to see what the resolution
How's
says.
anyone supposed to know what the distance regulations are?
I'm sorry?
State
The
statute.
sign doesn't say the distance regulations?
No.
It's state law.
State statute.
And people are supposed to know because it's...
State law, doesn't matter what the people don't know or nothing. If you're parked in front of a no parking sign, you're gonna get a summons. It's
You
100
don't
feet
know
on
if that
each,
arrow is there.
it's 100 feet on that sign either way.
Most people would not know that.
Well, that's the problem about parking.
Most people would not.
Well, that's why we don't go 100 feet with the next sign. We might go 75 feet, so it shortens up the span. You're still gonna get a summons.
If I see something on both sides, I probably wouldn't park for the next 5 streets.
Yeah. But that's,
Wondering when it ends.
but that's how the law is written. That's how motor vehicle law is written.
Thank you, Mr. Sharon, I appreciate that
Excuse
clarification.
me, Mayor Presti, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry, oh,
It's
yes,
okay.
we have Ramapo Police
Oh,
Officer
yes,
here,
I'm
can
here,
help us out.
yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm Officer Carroll.
She
I'm
wants
Philip.
to be able to hear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Could you speak into the mic so that...
Sure.
it's picked up on the tape?
Sure. No, you don't have to get up, miss.
I wouldn't park anywhere near there.
And you thought you were only here to pass by.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Officer Carroll, Ramapo Police Department. I'm filling in for Officer Stewart's tonight. She's a steady Chestnut Ridge officer. She's unavailable, so thus I'm here tonight. So, before Mayor Presti continues, I've heard people speak tonight. Are there any new police-related issues that need to be discussed before I leave?
Well, we normally would discuss them, but we'll put together our list, because I don't necessarily, it's gonna be hard for you to address them as they come up in I don't wanna, if that's the only reason why you're here, is that the only reason why you're here?
It's normal practice that either it's Officer Starks, Officer Baker, or myself, that we show up to village meeting just to address any concerns you have, any concerns residents have. Obviously, I've heard a couple concerns, so, like I said, I'll make that duly noted, that's all.
Well, I'll take you up on your offer, in that what we'll do is, what we'll do at this juncture is, Officer Yan, why don't you, if you don't, you could just wait a second here on the side, and then are there any particular issues or questions that you would like to address the village, that we have the officer here that we possibly be able to, just name and address for the record, please come on up, and then we'll see where we can go with this.
Barbara Pennington, 20 Ross Avenue in Chestnut Ridge.
Barbara Kennington, was it?
Pennington.
Pennington. Thank you, Ms. Pennington, okay.
I live across from the back entrance to the children's park, okay, where Carlisle dead ends on Ross Avenue. I have called the village. This started in May. I can't even tell you how many times. I have called the Ramapo Police Department numerous times. I've had them over. There are busloads and busloads of children that they don't bring the buses to the front entrance of the park anymore because they're not allowed. Now we go to the back entrance of the park. We've got hundreds of kids in the street.
I'm sorry?
There's hundreds of kids in the street blocking Ross Avenue when I tried to come home at lunchtime. There's gentlemen in the street asking me to please wait while they're getting these children in groups and trying to get them into the park. I've had no confrontation with anyone. I'm smarter than that. I get past them, I get to my home, and I continue to call the police. Now, I know that they emptied the park the one time. I've got photographs of the buses, I've got license plates, I've got everything that they've asked, but it just keeps continuing. So I'm here really to ask for your help and your guidance in what we can do to stop. Someone's going to get hurt. It's also a safety and health issue for that many people in the park. There are no permits that they've told me about, in my calling, there are no permits. So, but it's getting worse, not better.
So your concern at this juncture is that the drop-off is at the back of the park with these buses, and what time of the day is this happening?
It's there when I get home around 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, is it every day?
No. I've got several dates written down of when it's not every day.
Are they camp buses? Do you know where they're coming from?
I have no idea. I have license plates. I've got pictures of all the buses. They're school buses.
Okay, well,
Okay.
then provide, again, if you can provide the specifics to the village clerk, she can get that information to our police liaison, and then we'll have Patrol Officer Lyon follow up on that. That's no problem.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you. I can follow up with Omar on that.
Okay.
My name is Carol Goodman. I live at 964 Chestnut Ridge Road. I have, I believe, additional information to what Carol Jacobs spoke about, because my property abuts that property that's on Spring Hill Terrace. Okay? This is not a sometime occurrence. This is an ongoing occurrence that happens from Friday to Sunday night. We drove home, we were at the movies Saturday night, and we drove down Spring Hill Terrace, and there were 35 cars. We counted them in the driveway at 3 Spring Hill Terrace, 2 Spring Hill Terrace, and both sides of Spring Hill Terrace roads. Okay? These people come on Friday, as I said, and usually leave Sunday night. This weekend they didn't, because Wednesday was Tisha B'Av, a day of mourning. So they seemed not to be there for some reason. But we can't figure out how they're housing these people. These people are staying in those houses, and probably in the little building that they use as a shul that's supposed to be made into a garage. But it has windows, it's lit up all the time, and air conditioning.
I really can't.
You know, so this is not a garage. I have a garage that has garage doors that open and close. This does not. what is particularly upsetting to me is that the people that live at Spring Hill, on 3 Spring Hill Terrace, do not own that house. I understand that it is a house that belongs to a non-profit organization that was purchased for $10. What right do they have to be doing construction? They are supposedly putting in a private spa on that property. My eyebrow, a private spa. There are tubes and things. This is going on for about 6 or 8 weeks already, with workers there and all kinds of things happening. These people who are living there don't even own it.
Well, there's no law that says that you have to own the house to live in it, okay?
To put
If they're tenants in the home, they're allowed to do that. Currently, there are proper permits taken out with the village with regard to a spa or a mikvah, okay? Now, right now, at this point, they are within the parameters of what they applied for the permit for. We did a follow-up as a result of our last meeting. And right now, what they're doing, they haven't violated any law to date. And they are on the radar with us, and they are being audited. But to date, they have not violated any law.
Did anyone go to inspect to see what they're actually doing
Yes, they were
in
just
that
there-
facility?
They were just there a couple weeks ago.
I didn't see anyone.
As a result of the July 23rd board meeting, we sent code enforcement out immediately thereafter, and everything was according to law.
And they're allowed to do this?
They have the proper permits for what they're doing right now.
It's beyond me. That's in addition to all the cars that are parked, of course.
Car traffic issue is a different issue,
Yeah.
and that's
But
something
these
that
are
we will
people
address.
that are being housed in those 2 houses, and I'm sure in that little building that they're using as a shul.